Hello everyone, welcome to EduTap and also welcome to our success story series. Today we have another topper of RBI Grade B with us, Mr. Nivesh Sen. And do let me tell you that before starting this interview, I am assuring you it is going to be an interesting session because Sir has switched from SEBI to RBI. So this is something interesting from for all the viewers, and we will understand about his journey, how it started and what were the challenges he faced, and also about the sources, strategies, and everything, all the doubts that you must be having in your mind. So, Nivesh sir, welcome to EduTap and heartiest congratulations on achieving your target.
Thank you so much, man. Thank you for having me.
Right.
Thank you.
So, sir, let us first know about your educational background. And last year you made it to SEBI, and now you worked hard, and now you switched to RBI. So how this all journey it started and how it went? So please tell us about it.
So I come from Meerut, that is the city in west of Uttar Pradesh, that is near to Delhi.
Right.
And I have done my schooling from Meerut only. And after that, I did 11th and 12th in commerce. And after that, I took admission in Delhi University. And I did my graduation, BCom honors I did from Delhi University. And after that, I did masters in economics from JNU Jawaharlal Nehru University. And 2000 in 2017 I completed my masters, and after that I cleared SBI PO exam, and I joined SBI in 2018.
Okay.
My batch was 2017, but I joined in 2018, and since then I was posted in Bhopal Circle, and I was working there. I was in credit. After my probation, I confirmed as deputy manager, and I was in credit. I was working as RMSC. And after that I gave last year CB exam, and I cleared it in journalist and research both.
Okay.
Last year, yeah, I cleared both, but since my background was economics, so there I was like eligible to apply for two.
Right.
And here then after that I was preparing for RBI. Last year I could not focus RBI prelims because SEBI mains was on around 28th Feb if I'm not wrong, and prelims was 6th of March. And SEBI exam pattern got changed, and it was all about static management and all that. So I did not prepare current affairs because it was not required in SEBI.
Right.
So yeah, so I did not prepare well for the RBI prelims last year, and this time I got like I posted here in Mumbai. I working in headquarter in education department, and I got some time, so I thought let's give it a chance properly because could not focus it last year, and this time I made it.
Right. So, sir, you started with SBI PO, then you went to SEBI and then RBI. So, how does this drive to achieve more? That is one thing, and that was in you, that what you did. But the most important question along with this is because all the posts that you had, all those they were demanding in nature in terms of the work, right? So, along with that, how did you prepare for examinations? How did you balance both?
For in SBI, it was definitely difficult for me because I got like hard posting. It was credit, and there were like responsibility in terms of risk and accountabilities. So
Right.
in say SBI, it was very difficult. Like I gave interview of NABARD two times. I gave interview of SEBI in 2018, but I could not clear it. RBI, I attempted first time for interview and I cleared it, but it was very difficult for me in SBI. But in terms of working culture in SEBI, I didn't feel like that you could not do in SEBI
Okay.
because they have this good like 8 hours working thing, and you get your ample time if you are living alone. So I usually get used to wake up in morning because for current affairs I thought it was the right time to prepare because you need to like remember things
Right.
for phase 1 and phase 2.
Right.
So I used to wake up in the morning and 2 3 hours, and then back from office from like 6 7 in the evening. Though there is lot of traffic in Mumbai in that times, but 6 7 I used to reach back home, and then after that eat whatever you want to eat, go for running, and then after that I used to study for 2 3 hours.
Right. And this will be motivating for the people who are doing job also, right? Because it's within you that if you want to prepare or not. Your job, it can be as demanding as that of SBI PO, or maybe with a good balance that you had in SEBI. But still, because there is a job security, most of the aspirants who are preparing for it, so they get laid back that they have something in hand. But it's just if you want to be somewhere, you have to work hard for it, and that's what you did, and you finally reached where you always wanted to reach, right? So
Yeah,
sir,
like,
we'll start with phase 1, about what sources. You will have a brief idea of what sources you preferred and what was the strategy. So we'll start with quant reasoning and English, because usually it happens that the aspirants are from a BTech background, so it's easier for them when it comes to quant and reasoning. You
yeah.
had a decent background in commerce, so what about quant reasoning English? Did you had a good hold in it, or you started from the basic? What was your strategy?
For me, QRE was like it was okay to do since I had cleared SBI. So
Hmm.
I have done my preparation back then. Like it was, I still remember I was of the batch where the maths cutoff was zero. The exam was that difficult in
Okay.
SBI. I was of that batch. So I prepared well for QRE at that point of time. So I did not feel like I didn't struggle in QRE.
Hmm.
But if you would ask me, since been a long time, it's been more than 3 4 years, so I would say I started with Adda to I selected few chapters which I would do. I never go for geometry, mensuration, and all those things. I selected
Okay.
few chapters. I'll do that only.
Hmm.
And there were some videos on YouTube of Atta 247. I watched those videos and then I practiced those after like watching that video.
Hmm.
I used to practice from practice mock or any other sort like 10 15 question. But something I learned in last by my last attempt in RBI, QRE is important, but you do whatever you want to do. If you like, even if the paper would be a bit tough, it could change anything for you. So
True.
I thought I should focus more on the GA part.
Hmm.
QRE, I would focus just on clearing my cutoff, and I
Hmm.
would focus more on GA part. So I thoroughly study GA. But for QRE, I used to watch some video. English, I didn't do anything. I thought I'll manage to do that. And with reasoning, and the reasoning, I used to practice from the 247 merit sign. So merit sign, they have this series of this what do we say, 5 questions of each used to come
Okay.
reasoning,
Okay.
that
Okay. Some.
paragraph question. Yeah,
Okay.
puzzles
Okay.
used to, yeah, I did some puzzles. And then also I thought ki puzzles is also, if you could not make it, you end up losing 10 15 minutes. This really happened this time with some guys, because they were saying the question was not right, it was wrong, it
Hmm.
was, they were not able to make it, there were things like that. So I thought ki let's go for inferences and conclusion question. Even if there will be 15 and I would be able to like guess, and after 12 13 able to get 8 marks, that would be enough to clear this
True.
cutoff. So I
True.
focused like that. GA, I prepared well.
Right. And this is a very important key takeaway for the aspirants who either have weak quant reasoning background, or they have lost the touch with quant and reasoning, that you do not have to study all the chapters. Just focus on the ones that will help you to cut the cutoff, and the rest
Yes,
that you have to make in the general awareness section, because that constitute the maximum marks. So that's very important point that you have said. And now sir, if coming to the general awareness portion, so, sir, what sources you preferred for that, or what technique that you think is good for the aspirants? What topics that they should skip or may not skip?
For me, I skipped sports section. It was very lengthy.
Right.
First of all, then I was not able to remember dates. All these dates, today is World Health Day and all those
Yeah,
dates,
yeah.
I could not remember, so I skipped it.
Hmm.
And then I focused 4 months GA. I
Okay.
did it from Affairs Cloud because I was focusing my phase two. So 4 5 things I used to do every day because I was working and it was
Hmm.
I'm under probation. I didn't want to take leave before my prelims. I was focusing mains only. So what I used to do, I used to read every day Atta 247 every day. Every day it hardly takes 15 minutes. Then every day this phase this uh, Affairs Cloud every day.
Hmm.
And then I used to, before I sleep, I used to just open their app and like just mark the quiz
Revise.
quiz just mark the quiz
Okay.
and try to remember that. And
Okay.
when after 1 week, like on Saturday, Sunday, we have off here every Saturday, Sunday. So I used to just revise full week. That I used to do for current affairs. Along that, your RBI series, EduTap RBI series was very beneficial, and all those question series you have taken, I don't remember now, but there was some sir who used to take 300 question, 200. They were very beneficial. I
Right.
still remember there were more than 12, 15 questions directly from that you, and they were very direct questions. So that I used to use for my revision. And for summary, since I gave it last year, I know they sometimes also give summary. And I then, since I had a course of EduTap, but
Hmm.
summary, this thing scheme, but it was very lengthy, like 300 pages. So I thought ki let's do summary type only,
Right.
the scheme type, sorry. So
Yeah.
I
Scheme
did
step.
three, 4 months scheme tab,
Hmm.
and that is from you. And this is how I prepared for GA. And I marked 60, 61, and I was able to get 50.
Right, right. Yeah, we have got this feedback that the documents they were lengthy, and now we have worked on it. Now they are very cut short. But yes, the schemes tab it constitute of all the
Yeah,
schemes that are in news month wise. So that is important because when we talk about last 4 months from prior to examination, of course it includes all the journal awareness as well as schemes, and the
yeah.
possibility of these schemes coming in examination is very high. So for scheme also, did you refer to only last 4 months, or did you went back, or you did the flagship schemes that are there?
No, no, no. I did just last 4 months.
Okay,
I just did last 4 months. That's it, and that is from only scheme type only. Since I told you I did not have much time of
right,
this, though I had 4, 5 hours, but I still need to go do prelims ka GA and all that and manage all those things. So
right, right.
I like, if I tell you, I keep my strategy and whatever you care, it is was like whatever. I keep myself to very limited sources. Even though when I used to mark mock test, I used to feel I am not prepared, but I was like, no, no, stick to that, because if I run away on many things, and I won't be able to do even those which I selected.
True, that's really true, and especially being a working aspirant, these are the things, these are the steps that you have to take if you have a limited time with you. Right. So, sir, this was for phase one, the strategy that you have told us for content reasoning and English. You say that you have to stick to the topics because you just have to clear the cutoff. For content reasoning, especially English is something that is doable
That
if you
is
do a
the
little practice. But content reasoning, it is better to just stick to
just it to
the
some.
few chapters. Right. And for general awareness, you had your sources and you did multiple revision of it because that is the scoring section. So, sir, now let's come to phase two of the examination. And I believe in SEBI, it's not descriptive, right? Only English portion is descriptive.
Only portion only.
Rest is
Yes, yes,
objective.
yes.
But now, if come to RBI, there we have descriptive added in the second phase for both paper one and paper two. Paper one constitutes of English, while paper two it constitutes of ESI and FM, that is finance and management. So, sir, we'll start with paper one, that is of English. So for that, I think as you said for phase one, you did not practice much. But this in phase two, we have descriptive, we have essay writing, we have pressy writing. So, did you practice for that, or you just
Yeah.
went with the flow because you have given SEBI as well?
I went with the flow actually. Actually, I took leave of 2 weeks just before
Okay,
the exam. Yeah, I'll tell you. I took leave for 2 weeks, and it was total 14 days for me to prepare.
right.
And I did not do ESI in last 2, 3 years because SEBI did not have ESI.
Right.
And before that, COVID was there, so I was very like unfamiliar with the topic of ESI.
Hmm.
And then FM is still able to remember few because gave SEBI last year. So
Hmm.
what I did with English, I though have like write some essays, but for Prezi and I did not do anything because I thought I knew what they are about. So
Right.
I just go with the flow and I just write it whatever came in. First thing, but well, like one good thing happened in that, the topic of this comprehension was options and derivative.
Okay.
And yeah, so we go through this training in SEBI, so I knew what is derivative, and also I was able to write very impressive answers in that without even referring to comprehensive. So it was good thing happened for me, but other things I just write in the floor. But I also tried during exam to write maximum, to achieve maximum limit of words, so that it does not like if they are saying 600, I try to write for more than 500, even if
Okay.
there were very simple statement like a
Hmm.
class 10th or 12th person can write. I stick to it, it's okay, but I just write it grammarly correct and
Hmm.
just complete it, like write maximum I can about that topic. That's what I
Yeah.
do.
Right, you take care of the word count, what has been asked, right? So, sir, if we talk about topics that are asked in English, so are there some specific kind? Because see, in ESI and FM, we can expect that from that particular subject only questions can come. But when it comes to English, it is very generic. Can't say it's very vast,
Yeah.
right? So, can you with your experience, say what kind of questions in terms of essays that can be asked in English? Are they national, some nationwide news, or maybe something else?
Yeah, as far as I told you, I given some exams previously also. So I would say everyone should prepare one topic on technology.
Okay.
Whatever question would be there, you would able to write what is technology, what is the importance of IT in the
Hmm.
organization. Second, you could write one essay on all these like socialist. You can club them. What is government doing for upliftment of women? Like I think this time it was about women, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Women
Hmm.
empowerment, women empowerment. It was about.
Hmm.
So I and third about something related to finance. These three topic I always able to find an essay from them, even if it was an award or SEBI. This time it
Right.
was about women empowerment. So you get some keywords because you know what is women empowerment, how could you improve that. Then
Hmm.
you must be reading schemes so you can incorporate that in your. I did that. I just write some scheme, whatever scheme I was able to remember at that point of time that is directly related to women, how government is doing, what we need to achieve, what exactly the meaning of all these things.
Hmm.
Feminism, it is about equality, not about women over man, and all this kind of word would really help you to get your answer frame. And it just like these two, three topics I could remember.
Right.
You should at least know at least few things, at least keywords of all those essay topics.
Right, keywords of IT role and
I think
keywords on some social security schemes and the work that is going on across the nation, right? So that's very important for the aspirants who are preparing for the very first time, and they are generally confused what can be asked in English, because if they have to prepare essay, so what the topics that they need to prepare, and you have given a beautiful insight on that. Now, sir, if we talk about the paper 2, which consists of ESI and FM, so sir, I would want we'll discuss ESI first, and then we'll move ahead with the FM. So for ESI, what sources did you prefer? And also, I would please add to that that how did you prepare for descriptive writing?
yes. So one thing from my past experience and my roommate also, he got selected in RBI last year. So he told me the objective is bouncer. Yes, I objective is always a bouncer. You
Hmm.
do 22, you get a question from year 2020. So it happened with us also. So I focused more on descriptive part.
Okay.
But if I'll tell you what I did for objective. I divided objective into four parts. If yeah, first was current affairs. Current affairs I did from Affairs Cloud. That too very that includes report, that includes all those national news
Hmm.
and
Schemes.
schemes. Yeah, schemes were there. Current schemes, any new launch of a scheme or any scheme जिसके बारे में pass हुआ है. And one more national state news were there. These three four parts I took. Other than all those who is appointment, what is, I just left them
Kept
altogether.
that. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, it was not necessary for mains.
Hmm.
So I just stick to them, and that was from Affairs Cloud. I literally read well, a lot of reports of last 6 months, though the report was from year 2020. So
Okay.
I gave a lot of time to reports. And then I schemes. Everyone was like 15, 20 marks scheme ka aata hai and you need to prepare for
Hmm.
that. For that, I focused myself to scheme tab
Okay.
because there were lots of material out there,
Hmm.
and I did, as I told you, I just had 14 days. I need to revise. I did not have time, and it was like it was a roller coaster for me for those 14 days. I used to
Right.
sit for like 14, 16 hours because I was like, I took leave and I need to get it. If it is not this time, then I won't give it again.
Okay.
So yeah, my motivation was like, if it not this time, I won't give it again. I'll stick to saving only.
Hmm.
So I need to cover a lot of things. So scheme type was very beautifully written, and they like, and I also felt like whatever schemes have been asked, even if they were old scheme, they have been talked somewhere here or there.
Okay.
So for the scheme part, I would say you stick to a scheme type document, take a scheme from that. If you feel like it does not have all the information it like requires from the
Hmm.
scheme, like any basic, any background or all, you can search on PIB. I didn't do that, but I felt I could have done that after giving exam. But I was able to answer. If there were four question on any scheme, I was able to answer at least two, and
Okay.
that was like a basic question: what is it this game is talking about, what is the name? I
Hmm.
was able to get it. Some things were there though they were not in scheme tab, but I did not have time, so I did not focus on that.
Hmm.
And reports part also I did from your report sheet you gave every month report of this. And I also like compliment with face cloud wala thing of reports. Yeah, reports also have face cloud and your report, and then RBI section of your that videos
RBI
that you can.
notifications. For RBI
RBI
notifications.
Yeah, RBI
Hmm.
notification. I did that way because they were question on from last year, so I thought I should do that. So
Right.
I did for like women, and that I don't remember her name, but she taught us very beautifully.
Yeah,
She,
Kritika.
yeah,
Kritika.
yeah,
She's a faculty.
yeah, I used to read it
Hmm.
from website. I could not make it few things, and then from that video, I was able to understand each and every word. Okay, yeah, that is this notification about. So
Right.
yeah, it really helped me. There was even a question in FM about this thing, limit of bond in private sector. So it was from her video only in
Right.
phase two.
Right. And so for FM, you had some of it from your SEBI. So did you just revise that section, or did you start it? Because
Yeah,
what do you say?
I
Yeah.
started fresh. I started fresh since you said kids this the descriptive also you have to do. So I
Right.
told you about objective of ESI.
Yeah.
Descriptive what I did. So I started with chapter of you. Video did not have time, so I opened every chapter. So there is urbanization. I open urbanization chapter.
Hmm.
So what I did, I prepare answer of every topic.
Okay.
I sum up that whole ESI in 30 pages, and I read it again, read it again. What I did, urbanization, start from get definition from you,
Hmm.
then what you have, then objective, what is urbanization. I didn't focus on data because I know कि मेरे को याद नहीं रहेगा.
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
just prepare 2 page answer on urbanization. Then if
Hmm.
there was a topic like what do you say LPG, I
Hmm.
started with LPG or liberalization prohibition. I read what happened, why happened, and just prepare and it was proper theoretical answer.
Hmm.
Nothing more than that. For
Hmm.
every topic, 2 3 page answer, and whole essay was 35 page for me. After
Okay.
I didn't go anywhere, then I just read it. And for one thing, also I forgot in GA, I also did budget and economic survey.
Okay.
Budget and economic survey of your 4 pages eco survey I did.
Hmm.
So I don't know if there was any question. Eco survey I did, and budget also I did. Your series of scheme, your that document of budget.
Right, right. And so for FM, one more thing, that the for the aspirants who are preparing both for SEBI and RBI, what would you say that the syllabus of FM in both are, is it same or is it different a little bit?
Is it same more or less? But management mate is they have ethics more, and I think corporate governance extra. Otherwise, both is same FM.
Okay,
But JB also requires companies law and then financial accounting and all those things. So there are four more economics also, and one more syllabus one more subject is there. There are six, I think, if I'm not wrong, in SEBI.
right.
Yeah, there are six, and in FM you just skip the ethics and corporate governance. Other is same.
All right. So for
Yeah,
that also you did the same strategy, you focused
yeah, but
on.
yeah, I started fresh for that. For FM, I didn't go anywhere. That RBI series
Hmm.
of RBI notification because I read your last year paper very like thoroughly. What is there? What was the question they asked? And I
Hmm.
find that there was some question about RBI notification. There were 3 questions last year, if I'm not wrong. So for current part, I stick to that. And for FM, since I was reading current affairs, so it covered from that. ESI, they are all living. And then I go chapter wise of if I inflation is there, I start inflation, read it from chapter, make my own notes, and just make some keywords. If there is like communication, there are four, five objectives or whatever. So if they
Hmm.
start with A or P or S, so I just make it ASP, and then I able to remember that keyword. Like what is A is like adaptability, or S is service, whatever. Like I'm saying,
Hmm.
and then I
Hmm.
just make a word of it, and then able to remember and just reread it, and for or cramming or whatever you say, make
Right.
so that I would not. For me, it was like I would give my best to descriptive, and I know my descriptive was good. Even if it was economic reforms question, I was able to write properly. My whole answer was like if they asked 600, it was more than 550, 575. It was like that, and even in one question, I wrote more than 600 because I remember that much about communication and all those things. I just kept on writing.
Right.
So
Right.
yeah,
So basically, what you did for phase two, you curated your own notes and you just kept on revising them
yeah,
because you had taken holidays of though you have restricted time for yourself and you made the best of it by giving you an ultimatum that this is do or die. Like this is
yeah,
now or never situation, and for that you have because see it happens that aspirants they do for maybe a week or maybe a day they think that they are going to give it their all, but when it comes to consistency there is where they lack, and you are a clear inspiration for them and a live example that you have to be consistent if you want to achieve something. And by that we have sum up phase two, and now let's talk about interview. So sir,
okay.
how was the interview panel to you? Was it all calm and jolly type, or was that the grilling machine for you?
For me, it was not a grilling machine. Since the moment I said, they were like, "Your name is Nivesh." I said, "Yeah." Oh, आपका नाम investment है. Because something happened where you
Right.
first one they asked me, and I go, yes sir. And first question was from the chairman, Rajan sir, and there's this case in NSC co-location, and I work in education department. So it is
Okay.
an enforcement department, similar to enforcement department in RBI. So the moment I said, they were like, "Are you comfortable?" I said, "Yes." They asked me, "What is NSC co-location Ramachitra case and about?" So I started answer. I was like, I prepared this question because
Hmm.
I need to. I'm working in that department, so I should
Right.
know it is a big case. So I thought, ki, let's. And I started answering that, and the moment is like, listen to me, listen to my question. I was like, okay, okay. And they asked me, I know you must be knowing about this since you working in this department. I should ask you, whose fault was that? Was it like the management fault or employee's
Hmm.
fault? So it started like that.
Hmm.
And then second question was about SBI. So the guy who's sitting on the right corner, he asked me, so since you have working in most reputed Bank of India, SBI, and what are the cash management problem SBI faced? The second question was that, yeah. So but he also asked me about algorithm trading and all that in like NSC co-location. He wrote was algorithm HFT
Hmm.
training trading and all that. So then this guy asked me, what are the cash management problem bank fail? And I did not work in cash ever. Usually professionals or officers do not get into like do not get to deal in cash and all that. Like
Hmm.
I did not get to deal, so I did not know what were the problem
Hmm.
I faced in that. And I clearly said, sir, sorry, I didn't work in that department and never get the opportunity where I don't know what are the cash problem bank is
Hmm. Hmm.
and for me, I thought कि अब ऐसे directly answer दे तो दिया पता नहीं what would he thought I worked in 3 years now working with regulator so he just passed on and he just asked me cash management okay what do cash management currency management and then money management and the third person he asked me since so my interview was after that my interview was not about SEBI they
Okay.
didn't ask me SEBI and I was preparing for SEBI only I was like it's more than 1.5 years they should ask me SEBI only
Hmm.
and since I'm working in a regulator, so it started with SBI, MSME. How did I finance? What did I do? Then he came to my degree, economics from JNU, and then they said inflation. What is it? Imported inflation? How did Russia Ukraine war? I prepared well for interview given my background. I when I started, I know it started from BCom honors, economics,
Right.
bank, SEBI.
Right.
So
Right.
I have lot to prepare. That I know. For that I took like 3 days leave from office. Okay,
Okay.
I need to do a lot.
Hmm.
I just can't stick to RBI. What is RBI doing? Because they know a lot about what I did in past. So they could ask anything from zero to anything. So I read about economics, I read about various microeconomic policies. I also was preparing since I did economics around more than 7, 8, 10 from my college, even my batchmate working in RBI in DEPR department. So I
Okay.
was also prepared for why didn't I give the EPR exam, why I'm going for journalist exam. So I remember, I mean, I would say you should know what you have done in past and you should prepare for that. So there would not be any bouncer. Like if I did MSME and that was a like changing point for me in interview. They asked me MSME and what RBI did for MSME. Since I have written, I have worked in MSME as a credit. So I was very well. I gave them eight per thing what is RBI is doing, what RBI did, what are the different, and they were quite impressed by that. They were like, "ठीक
Hmm.
है चलो question पे चलते हैं." When they asked me inflation, so I didn't give them direct definition since I did economics. So I
Hmm.
thought to bring something that can impress you. I got Russia, Ukraine war, how we are import dependent, about oil prices is going, and how wheat they are exporting. So my interview was it from subject. It is from what is happening around, and also they asked me since I also prepared well for okay, what is the difference between they are also dealing with the same kind of work enforcement, we also do enforcement here.
Hmm. Hmm.
Also know what is that basic difference, meaning you can tell, but you should also know what is the basic difference because SEBI and RBI have different kind of dealing in
Right.
enforcement.
Right.
You should have, that was there a question about that why there what is the difference between enforcement, and I was able to answer yeah there are certain difference, there are 4 5 difference which are major difference.
Hmm. Right. So you should know what you have written in your biodata.
You
So
should.
they asked you from your education qualification background what the job that you had, but did they ask you some personal question as well, like some light
No,
question about
no,
hobbies and things?
no, they didn't ask me anything, any person. It was just the first moment, the moment I said, they were like, "Yo, your name is Nivesh, you're working best organized CB, it's an investment." So they were like that. That's it.
Right. So they did not ask you
Any
some
personal
personal
question,
questions.
any, yeah,
Yeah,
any.
but they did ask you about all the things. And maybe if you look from a third person point of view, maybe they tried grilling you, asking about your work and the nature of job. But it just then again depend on person to person how you take it. Do you take it in a normal way or in a grilling way or in a calmly way, right? So that was about your interview. So you have so beautifully explained your journey and the sources and preparation, and you have, I would say, the you have given deep insight of all the subjects how to cover and what sources to prefer, and I know this is going to help the aspirant. So at the end of the session I would like you to say something to the aspirants who are aspiring to join RBI as a grade B officer.
Yeah, I would just say one thing like if you are working and even if you are not working somewhere, you really need to understand the syllabus and the last year papers first of all, like what this paper is all about. Like if you think you are not good at QRE and you keep doing that and think you could achieve, because QRE was for me what I understand QRE is very same. GA was doable for me and GA is doable for if you take marks of whoever gets selected or even not selected, they were able to achieve maximum GA. So you should focus more on GA in prelims exam because it is all about clearing cutoff. No one is going to add those marks in mains exam or whatever. For second part, ESI and FM, I would say prepare your own notes. I did, it really helped me because it in the end, it is just 1.5 hours. You have to write a lot, like two questions 400 marks, two questions 600, around 2000 words, and it requires a lot. If you sit and think, you can't even able to complete your answer. So
True.
you should be prepared. You should at least what is they given you in syllabus, at least prepare answer for that. If there was a general question about PPP, you're able to write 400 about PPP. That's it. You they don't require you to give them data. What is NHI doing? What is happening? You just write
Hmm.
simple answer, grammatically correct. Write simple answer. They will give you marks. Complete your answer.
Hmm.
And for interview, do whatever you are writing, what you did, prepare that well. They may grill you, but if you are able to answer that, there was this moment where I said no because they said something. Ki governor said that thing. I said no. This is no. I don't think. For me, in my opinion, what I would say, I don't think it is something
Hmm.
related to imported inflation or whatever it will happen. I'm not able to remember. So if you know things, stick to that. They will give you. I got good marks in interview. Mains marks was okay, but interview marks really helped me to sail through. Otherwise, I would have not made it because I got just 1 marks of mains cutoff. So I
Right,
got 63 in interviews. So they really helped me. So it was like
right,
that. And just stick to that what you really want to do it. What is your motivation? What you want to do it. If you have your motivation, if you know you could do that even in 14, 15 days.
right, right. And one more thing, important thing that you have said, that during an interview, if you have contradictory opinion with the panel, and if you're sure about it and you have your logics behind it, you need not to hesitate to put your words in front of them. And maybe that is one of the quality that is required in officer, where when you are very strong on your opinion, and of course with logics, but not without
Yeah.
logics. Right. So thank you so much for joining with us and sharing your views. And I'm pretty sure this is going to help the aspirants, working aspirants, who are aspiring to join RBI. And we EduTap, we wish you all the very best for your future endeavors.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, sir.